Hello, this is Quick News with Doug. So the U.S. cases today are 614,180, with a total number of deaths at 26,061. So Trump, he said he was going to halt funding to the World Health Organization, WHO, because it has failed its basic duty. So now China, so Trump everyone's attacking him. China is threatening him. The media is obviously getting real mad at him and exposing him any way they can. So Trump was to halt the funding to the WHO because they failed its basic duty. He said he accused the UN agency of mismanaging and covering up the spread of virus after it emerged in China, which is true, and said it must be held accountable. In response, the UN's chief said it was not the time to cut funding to the WHO. Now, Donald Trump has been under fire for how he's handled the pandemic, for his own handling, and basically everyone's real mad at him because he stopped this when the WHO wasn't doing their job. They're basically Chinese puppets. They just weren't. They were covering stuff up. They weren't doing. The media was saying that he wasn't listening to Trump the beginning of the year, but it wasn't until, I don't know when it was, but the media is saying it was the very beginning of the year when the WHO started warning people. They didn't say anything about this was going to get big and stuff. They didn't really even say anything about it until a month later, and that's when action started coming to place, and now Trump is getting accused of basically everything in the world because he has halted the funding to the WHO. So moving on, Dr. Mark Siegel, I don't know how to say it, Dr. Mark Siegel, I think, I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, he said that, they were basically talking about how South Korea, they reported 116 cases of people that had it. They were treated, and then they came back and had it again. So, doctor is saying that it could happen if your body doesn't build up the immune to it. But he says that it's most likely, even though South Korea had 116 reactivated cases, I guess, he's saying that it's very unlikely for it to happen to many people. It's pretty rare, but it is still possible. He's saying that if you do have it, you can't just go out and do anything you want. Oops, what's this? He's saying basically that even if you have it, you can't take this, you can't just go out and do everything. You still have to take the procedures because you could still get it. The coronavirus cases, they're reported to, what's it called? Oh, they said that it's 2 to 3 days until you start getting the symptoms of it. So you could be walking around for 3 days, feeling perfectly fine. Then all of a sudden you start to, 3 days later you get it, you start getting symptoms, and you test positive for coronavirus. Say after you got the symptoms, you start social distancing. What they're saying is 3 days before you started feeling the symptoms, wherever you were going, you most likely had coronavirus with you. So if you don't feel anything, still doesn't mean you have coronavirus. If you're in quarantine and you're doing following all the procedures, you shouldn't have it. But if you went to go to the store or something, you might have got it, and you may not know it. The last thing for today is more doctors, more testing was resulted that the hydroxychloroquine, they're saying that it, like what Anthony Fauci said and Trump said, was that it will help with your symptoms. It's not a cure for COVID-19, but it's better than nothing. It'll still help you, and it's helped a lot of people with COVID-19 so far. So it's not a bad thing. It's still helping. It's just not a complete cure for coronavirus, just to help with the symptoms of COVID-19. So that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of Quick News with Doug.